And we gon' bring you that dope.
And we gon' bring you that dope. Gator beat it, baby. Man, state to state, baby, coast to coast. Like the fire, baby, spark the joke.
And we gon' bring you that dope.
Come talk with Erica, man, talk with G. And all you gotta do is talk with me.
And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope. And we gon' bring you that dope.
Let's get baby, when you move your body.
Hey, you like real talk? That backdrop music, that's fire. I ain't gonna lie, that's fire. That is definitely fire.
Get you in the mood.
It definitely does. You know, but by the way, I gotta go. I feel like looking in the camera right now. I'm on my one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Not Dr. Seuss. You went all the way back.
More like Dr. Umar. It looked like I'm a radical.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Dope Discussions Live Tuesday, where we chop it up about relationships, dating, and mental health. While you're here, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and meet us back here every Tuesday night at 6:30 Central Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, depending on where you are in the world. And we are back with another dope topic, and we got some dope guests today.
Right, we definitely do. You know, there's some memorable guests in the history of Dope Discussions.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Very few compared to the guests that we have tonight. Welcoming them back to the virtual congregation is an honor, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think about 3 years ago, we did our very first live show on Facebook Live, and these were our guests.
Mm-hmm.
And I've admired them and wanted to stay connected with them ever since, and we have done that. And I am happy to have them back from the relationship hotspots, Miss Nakisa Green and Mr. Javon Show. Woo!
Hey, y'all.
What's going on?
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back.
Excited to be here.
Did you just call him Mr. Javon Show?
He's a one-man show, y'all. It's just a one-man show. As a matter of fact, we finna make it a one-man show. Right quick.
I'm so irritated with y'all right now. I am beyond mad, angry, and frustrated. You let me know how Nakisa and I were the first guests of the live show, meaning you have footage of us. Yet we didn't make the intro.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to go way back in the crates to even find that.
I got it. Don't even worry about it. I got
it. You do? Okay.
I'm
You
looking
gonna
at it, just waiting for me and Nikkisa's face to
I
pop
didn't
up.
even notice that. You wasn't waiting on us.
Yes, I sure was. I said, there is no way that they have an intro with Celeste, who was on 3 weeks ago, but they ain't got me
Not
and
3 weeks
Nikisa in
ago.
there. And I'm like, and then it ended. And I said, did it? Wait, that's it?
Javon.
So I got a feeling that this was gonna be on the intro coming up from now on.
Oh, look at
Charlie-
that.
Oh,
Oh,
he wearing the original shirt.
He got
Yeah,
on
you
the
know,
original.
I didn't make the intro.
He came back with the OG
the
shirt.
OG shirt. And he done took the shirt off.
Gator, didn't I tell you this Negro was gonna get naked? Didn't I tell you that?
You know what's crazy?
you just wanted an excuse to
He
get
did
naked.
say you was gonna get naked. So
Back on my
I can't.
seriously.
I just
Serious.
cannot.
Seriously.
she did say you was gonna get naked. So you did call that one.
The nerve.
I knew it was gonna be some foolery.
You better go and give me the topic one.
But I
Doggone
told her that you'd have got naked before. Like when we did the whole Isley Brothers versus.
Yes.
So
This
Well,
fool come up there laid to the side doing the Michael Jackson cover of the album pose.
mhm.
No shit. Yes.
But that was during a period in my life where I didn't need to wear pasties. We're a little bit different now. Things have changed for
Oh.
Javon.
My God.
Oh yes, this is going to be very fun. I can see that already.
Bro.
And I got some icebreaker questions, but the ice is already melted.
the ice had already melted.
I think this is how it was when we did our first interview, though. We came on, you hit go, and then I started talking.
Yes, because I told Gator, because when we first started doing the show, we used to cuss and stuff. And when I told Gator, I said, "Now we got some Christians coming on the show. So
Yeah.
we gotta
that's
tone
exactly
it
what she said.
down."
He the cussing Creek Christian though. He the cussing
Then
Christian.
we got on there, I said, "Oh hell, we ain't got to do just
I
talk
think
how
my
we been
third
talking."
sentence. My third sentence had damn in it, and I saw Erica go, "Oh, okay."
She was like,
Okay, that's what we doing.
she said, Gator, I know you like to cuss, but I think they kind of Christian folk.
So
You know, so
let's
you
tone
can't
it
be-
down a little bit.
I was like, okay, we ain't gonna cuss.
We love
Then
Jesus.
y'all
though.
came in and it was just like
Right.
after the show, we was like, wait a minute, hold on.
I told Gator, I said, Gator, he fooled me. he tricked me. I thought he was a good.
I'm the
wholesome-
non-cussing Christian. He's a
Decent.
cussing Christian.
And that's where we bring balance to each other. And see, you have to understand, I've only cussed in church like 4 times, so I'm doing really good on my path. Y'all keep
Yeah.
praying for me.
Yes. Well, we brought them in. Who other than the relationship hotspot guests, hosts, and creators to come in and have a conversation with us about relationships.
Yes.
So before we dig into the topic of tonight, I had 3 icebreaker questions, true or false questions that I wanted to go around and have everybody give me their opinion. Do you agree? Do you disagree with this statement about relationships? Y'all ready?
Yes.
First one, true or false? We date at the level of our self-esteem. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. That's kind of a tricky question because to a certain extent, I would say that it is true. Because when you think about when you're your most confident self, how when you're your most confident self, you feel like you don't care what the status of that other person is. You know you can pull them because you're that confident. Your self-esteem is up high. So I'm going to go with true on that. I'll say true.
I'm gonna. Oh man, I listen. I promise you, I'm not gonna do this all night with y'all. Where every time she says something, I disagree with it.
You are.
Okay.
But
You
in
are.
this case, I will say it's false for me because although I'm an introvert and I am very introverted, like this whole personality thing on podcasting and on shows and on hosting is not a reflection of my introverted self. But talking to people, going up and just randomly speaking to somebody in the street who I don't know is not a thing that I do. I'm extremely introverted, but my confidence, I don't know if y'all can tell or not. I'm an extremely confident individual. I got some cockiness to me. Like, you can't be 44 dating 25, 26-year-olds and not be cocky.
Hey.
And be a little bit arrogant. So I am those things, but I don't date at the level of my ego because of the fact that my self-esteem is really high, but my introvertedness kind of brings me down a couple of levels. I'm really shy outside of those.
You are dating at the level of your self-esteem because you just said you can pull 25 and 26-year-olds.
I mean,
so that means that your self-esteem is high enough to be able to pull girls that are 20 years younger than you.
But they come to me though.
Uh-huh.
You know, I don't go there.
Lord. Here we go. Here we go. What you think, Gator?
I mean, you know, I'm kind of like Javon. If you got it, you got it. So, you know, I mean, like to be completely honest, when I was out there in the streets, I just felt like I could pull anything that was out there. So, you know, my self-esteem was, even when I was depressed, my self-esteem when it came to the dating stuff was on another level. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I used to be the guy who would try to find the finest thing in the club and be like, okay, that's the one I'm going after. So that's what I was. And yeah, I got shot down a lot, but it never really even like affected my self-esteem. And a little bit of it was ego. A little of it was I thought that I could do it, therefore I would do it. And yeah, so I think it's true, but if you have a very high self-esteem, then none of it matters.
Right. But Gator, I can say that I wish I had that confidence that you have, because I can see something that I want and say absolutely nothing the entire night because of the level of shy that I have. So even though I feel that once I am in the conversation that I got it, but getting to that conversation is a little bit tougher for me.
Yeah. It depends. So my life goes in stages. As I got older, I felt like I almost got more reserved and more shy. And I like to think it's not even that I got shy or reserved. It's I started to kind of grow up and mature and realize that, hey, I need to kind of, be more careful and more selective of who I'm actually talking to instead of just jumping after the tail and the booty that I see in the club.
Well, I definitely say it's true because, when you look back at some of the exes, you can kind of tell where your self-esteem was during that point in your life when you was dating that particular person. Because I look back at some of those people and be like, the me today wouldn't have given you the time of day. I don't know what I was going on in my life at that time. But Lord Jesus, thank you for growth.
You have regrets. Does everyone here have regrets on people that they've gone back and I don't think a single person that I've dated I have a regret on. Not a single one.
I have some that I've stricken off the record.
Wow.
So nothing. I'm just
no. Now you gotta say it. You can't just there
is nobody that you have dated in your 40-something-year-old life that you would be like, oh, I wish I didn't date that person.
Everyone was an experience that I needed. Like from the one that slashed my tires to the one that laid there like a dead post. I embrace every single experience that I've had for.
Whoa.
Don't act like that's not a thing.
Right.
I've done that before, so to help hurry up and get it over with.
No, that's not what it was. First of all, hold on.
What was it then? Because was she dead?
No. maybe I was just knocking it unconscious. Don't. First of all, don't.
She was still dead.
Huh?
She was still dead and she was unconscious.
I gave it. First of all, I am known in these streets, so I'm not gonna sit up here and let y'all defame my great name.
You capping on YouTube.
I need a picture of a cap, a big cap.
The biggest cap you ever
on top of your head.
What y'all not gonna do is make assumptions about my good work and about my good work. So, yeah, but no, we'll get into that on Sextimony. That'll be
Okay. Yeah. So here's the next.
That lay there and don't do nothing, but we'll continue on the conversation.
Yes, let's get to the next true or false question. We can be on that one all night. True or false? You can be in love with your partner and still cheat on them.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. The answer is yes. 100%, 100%, 100%, yes. Because I've done it.
Hell no.
She said, "Hell no."
She put hell to the no.
I say false, and I say false strongly. I remember I was married, and my husband had cheated on me, and I had decided that I was gonna cheat back on him because who he thought he was that he could cheat on me and I not cheat back on him. Hey, there goes my cousin. So. But I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I was so mad. I was mad at God. I was like, God, how do he get to do that, have no conscience, and then come back home and still be good? And I can't do it. And I have every right to be. I thought I had every right to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I say false.
Same here. I had the same experience. I tried to buck myself up to do it and be like, he deserves this. I'm just getting my lick back. I'm just making it even. And I couldn't do it.
Oh man. I gotta say this though. You can love your job and still lie to your boss about why you took that day off. You know, so
But
it's
you're
like
not in love with your job.
that's where I was going with it. I
Okay.
think that there are levels to loving people. And I think that there are some people who you are in love with, you really care about how they feel, the things that they go through, you are, concerned with that person. And then there's other people that you love, but I mean, you're not going to like you'll be heartbroken if they leave, but you feel like the risk is worth it and you'll do the trade-off. That sucks. It really does. I'm one of those people that I think I've said on this show before that, hey, if I'm cheating on you, then you have every right to leave, and vice versa. If you cheat on me, there's no way that you can come back to me and tell me, but I'm so in love with you. Nah, not really, because you weren't thinking about me at the time. But I think you can still have love for someone and do that.
I've been in love with a fiance and cheated, a wife and cheated, and 3 or 4 girlfriends and cheated. And I will say that there are levels of love, like you said, Gator. I was in love with that fiance. That was a high school sweetheart that I was with. And then when we got to college and I realized that people thought that I was cute, there was some moments of weakness where I was like, you know what? I love this woman. I do. But these hormones are taking over. And I've never experienced anything like this attention before. And I fell into the temptations of those emotions and of those feelings. No one can ever say that I didn't love my first fiance, my high school sweetheart. I loved that woman. But something came over and things happened. And I wish that it didn't happen, but it did happen. But you can't say I didn't love her because I absolutely loved her.
You just brought up something that made me think about something that Chris Rock said in one of his stand-ups a while back, where he said a man is only as faithful as his options.
Yes.
And I think to a certain extent that is true. If you're one of those people who, you get all of a sudden encountered with these, Beyonce, type women or whatever, then you're kind of like, oh, the temptation is there a lot more than if you got, Aunt Esther's walking around you all the time.
Right. And in high school, nobody was studying me. True. Nobody was studying me in high school. So it was real easy to be faithful in high school.
Right.
And I was 6'4", 220, had some muscle to me, and a little bit of money. I had that refund check in my pocket.
Lord.
You dangerous when you had that. College campus?
You thought it was balling.
So, yeah.
Yes. All right. Third and final icebreaker question. True or false? Sex is always better with someone that you're in love with.
True.
False.
And I say true because you're more I guess vulnerable to really be into it with your whole entire soul, body, mind, spirit, that you're willing to like take on the full experience, as opposed to if you're not in love with that person, you're not giving them everything. You're giving them a piece of you, but it's not everything. So I say true.
Mm.
I'm going to say false because I'll say that making love, passionate love with someone that you're in love with is amazing. But when we just going raw donkey, just that monkey, just pull the head back and spank that. I don't have to love you for you to make my toes curl like never before. And I will tell you that not my first one, the one who I've had the best absolute ever with. Yes, we there was a love there, but numbers 2 through 4. Ooh wee. Ooh wee.
You know, real talk though. I think that there's a difference between the event and the experience.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you. That's it.
So
right
the
there.
experience of it with someone that you're in love with is so much better. And it's, you know, even if they just lay in there, it's still that person that you in love with. And, you know, now if it's somebody that you just random and they just lay in there and you like, man, get out of here. You know, the event could be a lot better with somebody. Like Ron said, y'all could be hanging from chandeliers and doing backflips and all kinds of stuff. And not that I would do backflips when I was doing that, might hurt.
So here's a
You know, I didn't
rare.
like doing the knees thing either on the carpet and stuff like that.
My-
That used to hurt.
What?
Do you put a pillow down? Hold on,
Rug
y'all listen
burns.
for a second. Gator, you put a pillow down when you did that? Because that carpet.
Yeah, I
burn-
learned to do that. I learned to put the pillow down.
Here we go with
Yeah.
this. Now, here's a rare occasion where I'm going to agree with Javon
What?
because
Let me go get my shirt. Hold on.
I can think back to some of the greatest sex I've ever had. It was not with somebody that I was necessarily in love with. It was just somebody that's what it was a situationship where we knew what it was. And that's what we were there for.
Yeah.
And to me, I was more uninhibited because I wasn't so invested in that person and
Yeah.
what they thought of me if I do this or if I do that or if I go here, if I go there. Whereas when I was in relationships with people that I really was in love with, I was concerned about what they may think about me if I do certain things. So I've had some of my best sex with people that I didn't have no commitment with.
Isn't that weird though? Like the person you in a perfect world, the person that you're in love with should be the person that you want to be the biggest whore for.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? In a perfect
Biggest
world.
freak.
Yeah, you know, but a lot of times it's not like that. Oh, by the way, just a hint. Never tell the person that you're in love with.
Exactly. You
That
never tell
they're-
them that you had better. Don't you do
Right.
that. That you've had better. No, you never do that. I don't care if they ask you 500 times, baby, you the best I ever had.
At least put them in the top 2.
No, women, y'all better say he the best ever, because they
You
will
better
never
say
forget
it.
that, and they will hold it against you forever.
Yes, they will.
That's a fact. That is a fact. I think we've all agreed on that.
Yes.
You better tell me I'm the greatest.
And I'm talking to the men mostly, because while we talk to the women a lot about stuff like that, bro, don't ever do it.
Mm-mm.
Don't do it.
Mm-mm. And that's
You
why
will
every
never-
woman that's watching right now, just know that number one is you. I
Yeah,
was talking about you.
exactly.
All right. So we got those true or false questions out of the way, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, the topic of tonight. Dating over 40. Shouldn't it be easier? Oh, I thought it would be. And I hear a lot of people in our, age range who say they feel like it's getting more difficult and there's less quality choices. And I have 5 reasons, 5 dating over 40 seemingly challenges that I want to present to us, and then I want to get y'all's perspective. Number 1, dating over 40, you have limited social opportunities. As people get older, their social circles may become smaller. You may have different priorities by the age of 40. Many people have established careers, have children, so they're looking for something long-term and stable. So consequently, they may be looking for different things in a partner. Number 3, people over 40 tend to have baggage from past relationships, and they may bring some of that into future relationships. Number 4, we have a fear of rejection. After experiencing past heartbreak, some individuals may have a fear of rejection, making it more difficult for them to put themselves out there and be vulnerable. And number 5, people over 40 have higher standards and preferences, and that narrows your dating pool because you have specific things that you're looking for in a partner, and you may not be able to find that in a big group of people. So what do y'all think about those 5 dating over 40 challenges?
Can I give you the other 5?
Yes.
Why dating over 40 is easier?
Oh, yes. Let's do that.
I get accused of never doing my research, so I did my research.
Okay.
Dating over 40 is easier because you have self-awareness and confidence.
Like it.
That you have clearer priorities. That you are emotionally mature. Less pressure to conform. And because you have expanded social circles, as well as time for yourself and reduced fear of rejection. That's what some of my research showed of why it's easier to date over 40. And I'm not going to lie to you. And I don't want to be the contrarian, but dating over 40 is so much easier than when I was dating in my 20s. And I got married in my 20s. But as a teen, dating was horrible. That's why I snatched up the first one that liked me and put a ring on it. The dating in my 20s was all right, but I knew I wanted to get married. Like I knew I'm young, I'm supposed to be having kids and getting married. So I was looking and rushing to that. Now that I'm 40 and dating, this is so much easier than when I was young.
So I want to take the 5 that you just gave us as positives. And I agree with all of them. But my objection to that is that you have those attributes. But I've met a lot of people in our age group who don't have those same attributes. They are emotionally and mentally stunted. And I've always, my whole life, I preferred dating men older than me. And so now that I'm in this age group and I'm meeting men in my same age group and older, they are stuck in a time warp. And they're not open-minded to new ideas. They're all about the old ways of tradition back in the day. And I'm not there in that mindset anymore. So I'm like, do I have to date younger men, which I don't want to do? But it's like the men in my age group, they still want to be in their 20s and 30s because it's like they didn't get to live and do the things they wanted to do back then. So they feel like this is the time for them to get to do it.
Are they dressing like it too?
Yeah. Like a carton of crayons.
Lord have. So
What?
so here's the thing. There's two analogies you could use for it. You could use the pickup game analogy to where, as in your 20s and 30s, people are steady getting picked. And once you get into your 40s, it's like, wait a minute. You mean all I got is two left-hand Josh to pick from? He can't even shoot. But that's all that you got left at that point, because a lot of the other ones, unless somebody comes in the game or tries to get to pick up, a lot of those higher quality ones that you were looking for then are gone. One of the things that you said too, Erica, is and I think that was Javon's point about dating younger. You may have to, and the reason why is because a lot of these people that are in their 40s, they're kind of stuck in their ways. They're like, this is all they're not settling for anything else. They're not even open to changing and adapting and anything like that. So they get stuck in this single-minded mindset to where you can't even get through to them to be able to choose them as a partner. So you may end up having to go younger just to have that experience of having someone who's at least considering being, adaptable or agreeable or can compromise somewhat on some of the things that you want.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I want someone with old man wisdom, but with a young man spirit.
Yes.
And have you tried getting that in a young man yet? Or are you only looking for 40 and above to receive that from?
I mean, I don't know if I have much in common with somebody that's below 40.
Ooh, you are missing out. And I'm not taking nothing
Because
away
I ain't trying to have no
40-year-olds.
cheerings.
And guess what? Some
Right,
of
which
those
is
30-year-olds ain't
important.
either.
That's an important consideration too, because
And
if
some
the
of them-
guy that you date and don't have kids, then you're not gonna
They
be
might
able-
want some.
Or they already have 5 from 5 different baby mamas, and you're missing out on the opportunity to not be number 6. If you're
I don't
looking
raise
for,
all mine. I'm not trying to help nobody raise no more children.
see, so I definitely respect your standards. But what I'm saying is that if you don't at least expand the age range to give those young bucks a shot, then you never know what you could be missing out on, because you're dead set on. It sounds like you have the mentality of they have to be over 40 to have the mindset that I want. And if they're over 40 and have the mindset I want, then I want them to have the 20-year-old mindset of the energy and but maybe try 35 or 32 and see if they've got that young man's energy with that old man's mindset. And they may be right there waiting for you when you leave out your house tomorrow and go to the grocery store. It could be a Walmart right there.
Oh, delivering my groceries?
Hey, you never know.
No.
You just never know.
Leave your house, ma'am. Leave your house. Go to Home Depot. Go to Lowe's. Go where the men are at. Go to the golf club. Like, no.
Yeah.
But I date 10 years younger and I date 10 years over. Like, that's pretty much my measuring stick for the age group that I date in, the 10 years.
I go 20 down and 2 up.
20 down and 2 up. 20 is this it's not gonna work for me. 20 years apart.
I dated when I was 30. I dated a 23-year-old who had 3 kids, and it was one of the best relationships that I had. She had
Would
that.
you marry her?
Yes, I would. She was very
No,
mature.
did you marry her? This is right? Did you marry her? She was the best. Did you marry her?
Did you?
Would I? Can we go back to the would I?
Did you?
Well, no, because I cheated on her, and she did, and she moved on.
Did you hear him?
Oh man, you losing credibility here.
Wait, that takes nothing away from
Yes,
her.
it does.
Yes, it does.
It takes away from her maturity because I cheated. What type of feminism is on this podcast?
No.
Wait, say that again.
I said that I cheated on her, or else it probably could have gotten there. So that had nothing to do with her maturity.
No, you
level.
wasted her young life and her
No,
young time.
we didn't
You wasted
say
her body count. You wasted her time. Like, you did so many things wasteful
It
as a
wasn't a
her
waste of
dating
time
somebody that's
for
older.
neither one of us. We were.
Shut up, Javon. Shut up.
No, but sometimes you can be in relationships like that though, where you genuinely enjoy that person, even though you are
cheating on her.
Yes.
See,
talked about that.
I'm talking to Gator, Javon. I'm waiting on
Oh.
Gator to finish his sentence.
So
yeah, I want to see
That
how you
was
gonna
not my
wrap this
next-
one up.
yeah, that was not my next word, but
Peter Boo Show has not changed. Me and Nikisa come on and they want to finish sentences and sandwiches.
you know,
That's what I was about to say.
yeah, no, I mean, you can literally be, you know, y'all can enjoy each other, and even if y'all are not completely ready to make it a permanent thing with that particular person, sometimes you get that way, and sometimes it could be because you're younger, and you know there are other options out there. Sometimes it could be because you're older and this young buck is doing too much.
Mhm. And mind you, I was toxic. So I was fresh out of a marriage. I got divorced in June. I met her in September. So, you know, and I had dated one that was 10 years younger first. And then I went 2 years younger than her and dated. And I was just like, you know what? I want to continue to explore after this 15-year marriage. And the opportunity came up, and her brother's fiance came on to me, and things happened. But my point is that all because you date younger doesn't mean that it can't be a great situation or an opportunity for you to gain a valuable experience and find somebody that you could really connect with. You don't have to worry about what I just said. Just know that I said it, and I know what I said. I meant it. Let's bring
We don't need a whole nother show for ratchet. We just gonna have a whole hour of ratchetness and let Javon just
and we need him to actually bring evidence.
rattle it off.
We need him to bring witnesses to say.
Look,
Not only did he break up his own relationship, but he done broke up his, who was it again?
girlfriend's brother's fiance.
Oh, so you didn't know her like that?
No, we know each other biblically.
Anyway, let me get one of these comments. Quincy said, when I got thrown back into the dating world unexpectedly at 41, I thought that it would be easier dealing with mature women. Boy, was I wrong.
that is very true, Q.
So
Because
true.
what it is that a lot of times older women are more set in their ways than older men, and a lot of
Right.
times older women will, you know, they'll stay at home, they don't go out, they don't be out in the streets, they don't do anything, they just be about their business, and that's fine. A lot of them have their own homes that they're making and all that kind of stuff, so you're just basically just kind of a ship that's passing by. You may enter into their water, but that's their water.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's harder for them to adjust. It's harder for them to be able to deal with some of the things and to actually be willing to change their mindset about certain things because they're settled. They
Mhm.
don't want to do anything else, you know, unfortunately.
Can I just use the rest of this podcast to agree with everything Gator says? Because I think that things will go by so much faster if Gator keeps being right, and I just have to say amen. So, amen, Gator. Amen.
Yeah, I think it's true for like what you're saying is for women, but Erica said it earlier. It's for men as well. It's the part of that being older and being set in your ways, and you coming a part of somebody's life, and you don't know how long you're gonna be there, or if there's room for them, or if they're gonna make room for them. Because like in dating older, I can appreciate a wise man. And not everybody that's older is wise. Like they went through experiences, didn't learn nothing from their lessons, and they just aging. But then we have those older men that just have that wisdom that you just at awe at everything that's coming out of their mouth. And you just like, oh yes. But they're set in their way. So then you have to have patience for the ones that are willing to adjust and allow you to come into your life. And sometimes that patience can take too long, where you just like, how much more patience do I have to have? Because when you bring somebody into your life, you do have to make an adjustment. Like you have to adjust. Like, yes, I know you used to getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning every day. Yes, I know you used to going to sleep at 10 o'clock. Yes, I know you used to doing this with your homeboys and this and that. But where do I fit into your life schedule? Like you have to you have to adapt.
That's true. There's only one thing I'll say to that. The one thing that differentiates the men in that situation from the women in that situation is that men are more manipulated by regular sex. So literally just them
What does that
having that
mean?
opportunity to be with somebody and to have intercourse and to have sex with that person more often, they can be manipulated into change a lot easier than a woman can be manipulated into change by introducing more sex into their, environment.
Erica,
Wait. I got a question about that for Gator. So can you expound on that? Because I'm trying to see what that would be true for a man. Because just because you having sex with a man that you're with, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can get them to continue to open their life up and make time for you and adjust and add you to their, schedule or whatever the case may be. Like, even if it's good, like because they're still set in their old ways. So
Right.
can you expound on that?
It depends on how old, because it's just a natural
Like
fact. The
50.
older that men are, the less frequent and the less opportunity they have with their significant other to be able to have sex, or women in general. So I think that they can be manipulated a little bit more by this. Now, it's not a perfect equation,
Right.
but I think that they could be manipulated a little bit more by the nuance of being able to have someone they're intimate with a lot more than a
But
woman.
is that because they need medicine to get it up, so they want to, make sure they preserve every time?
You know what? You're not that far off, though. You're not that far off, because a part of that is ego. A lot of times men's ego is tied to their sexual performance. So if they feel like they're with somebody who finds them attractive and is allowing them to do, they're more willing to give up a piece of themselves than as an older man, than a woman is in that scenario.
So then doesn't that lead to the thing that men complain about when women use sex as manipulation?
Yeah.
So do they want us to not manipulate, or they want to be manipulated?
I'm not saying that you should be telling them, hey, I'm manipulating you.
Oh shit, I'll tell the truth.
Right? Don't tell them, hey, look, I'm manipulating you. But what I'm saying is
manipulation.
I think, right. But what I'm saying is I think that right. But what I'm saying is that I think that sounds silly.
By the way, to anyone that wants to manipulate, that wants to practice the manipulation, at the Bond Show, I'm here for educational purposes only. So I'm sorry, Gator.
And bring your own condoms.
And stop by the 7-Eleven. Grab one of them. Minos. Anyway, as you were saying, Gator.
Yeah. But that kind of boils that it's an ego thing. I think that men at that age are a lot easily manipulated as far as ego wise by being able to be more intimate with someone. Because let's face it, at 50 years old, they don't necessarily find, as a man that's getting into that age, and me knowing a lot of men who are that in that age bracket, a lot of men don't feel as sexually vibrant as they used to, and a lot of that is tied to their confidence, their ego. All of those things are all tied into that. So when they're, the girls at the corner store don't find them attractive no more. They're not checking on them like they used to, when they was riding through. So just being able to have someone say, hey, look, I find you attractive, I'm into you, and they're, showing that intimacy, that's a good way of, and I use the word manipulation because technically it is, but I mean, that's a good way of influencing that man that is so stuck in his ways and so stubborn and all that. It's a good way of influencing him to come back over and to be a little bit more considerate of the things that you want to input into a relationship. It's that way a lot more with men than it is with women, because the women don't care.
Do you think that applies? You think that applies to men that are over 50, that work out, that look good, that got nice bodies, that work out every day? Do you think that applies to them as well? Because those are the type of men that I meet.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't want to speak of the generality on that one, because I think each particular situation is different.
Yeah.
You know, because there are some men who are, you know, in their 50s and their 60s who are,
Baby,
you know,
listen.
going in the gym
They
and
look
you know,
good.
doing their thing.
Erica, I don't know if you need to come
Yeah.
to Texas, honey. Listen, you need to
I
come.
might do. I might do.
Listen, and you would be surprised. Like you
Oh,
50.
yeah.
Like I'm 45 and I'll be like, now wait a minute now. I got to let me go back in this gym and get on this treadmill because they outrunning me.
Yes.
So
And look
So
at
word
you,
to the women, go to the gym too.
and look at Nikisa looking
show go to
38.
the gym.
You're killing it, Nikisa. But here's the other part of this that kind of goes along with that, right? All because if you find the 50-year-old, 60-year-old bodybuilder and got his thing, this life together, and he's got his money together, and all this other stuff, you should definitely do whatever you can to grab and hold on to that one. Now, when you're looking at the other 98% of the men that are out there, realize that there is some work that may need to be done with us. I'll speak for me. And my question to you, Erica, is do you have the patience that is required to properly manipulate a younger man?
No, I'm not with the manipulation no more. I'm with the straightforward. This is who I am. This is who you are. Do they complement each other? I'm not with the hidden motives. I'm not with all of the mind games and the manipulation and the finagling anymore. I just want somebody who can accept me. I can accept them. We flaws and all, everything, you know, and just be honest.
Yeah.
The manipulation just takes too much energy and mental capacity that I don't have.
Are you only looking for that? Like, are you looking for 100% out of one person, or is there a range you're in? Like, if I can get 80% of what I'm looking for from this individual, then I'm cool. 75, 60.
Yeah, I'm not an all or nothing type person.
Okay. So
she said flaws. It's fine. It ain't.
Right.
It's not
But
that.
I
It's the people that's stuck
though.
in their warp. They're stuck in the 60s and 70s that
right.
still trying to dress like they 20 years old and wear these clothes that look kind of crazy because style matters as well. Like,
yeah,
style matters. Well.
It's about the mindset. It's not. It's about like, are you open to different perspectives and different ways of looking at things? Because a lot of people are just closed off. This is what it is and how it is, and this is how I am. Take it or leave it. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll leave it because, you know, I'm looking for somebody who going and changing and evolving and learning new things about yourself and life. And if you're closed off to that, then that's a wrong type of mindset for me to be in a relationship with.
Is it possible that you can help me understand this? Because I'm hearing you saying that if they wear clothes that are younger clothes and it makes them feel good, that means that they must be closed off to being whatever it is that you need them to be, which sounds to me like you're closed off to being accepting of who they are. So can you give me just another example so that I don't feel that way about this conversation?
Why do you feel that way about the conversation though? I don't get that. Like, I think you're the only person that felt that way.
The clothes and all of that is just that's minor. That's like,
so that's why I'm asking for another example.
That's a symptom. That's an indication of your mindset, but that's not the big issue. Is how you dress.
That's an indication
the
of that's the way he likes.
Closed-minded conversations that she's had with them, where they're not open to changing.
What do
you want to know?
Well, she's not on. Well, she's not on the interview. We having a discussion.
Right. I'm trying to get a better idea.
Did you know you was gonna be drilled like this?
I did not. I did not.
I had discussions with Javon.
I get what he's
another point that I wanted to get into, and he grilling me, trying to get me a date.
I'm sorry, Gator was about to say something. Yes, Gator.
No. I actually get what he's talking about. It just kind of goes back to the point that I was making a little while ago.
Okay, we're talking about dating over 40. Y'all talking about me.
It's not an attack on you, Erica.
That's not what the conversation is about.
Okay, hold on, Erica. This is not an attack on you. I'm trying to understand the point that you were making so that I can better understand maybe where I am and where I'm flawed. Because you were talking about the closed-mindedness of the individual and their inability to adjust and change. And my question was, is it them or is it you being closed off to accepting who they are and the reason why they wear what they wear or whatever? So that's why I was asking for another example.
It's both. It's both. It's I'm closed off to being in a relationship with a closed-minded person.
Right. Which you said all throughout the show.
I got to keep remembering that this ain't my show. Put it on the list.
But this is the point that I wanted us to get back into one of the outlines of one of the dating over 40 challenges was baggage from past relationships. So do y'all feel like people dating over 40 are more likely to bring a lot of their baggage from past relationships, not work through those things, not heal before getting in new relationships?
I think so. But I also think that we are at a time where people are more open to counseling and therapy and unpacking those childhood traumas that affected them in their relationships. They're just now realizing, because there's so much awareness about it all over social media, that people are now being like, wait a minute, that sounds like me. Maybe I should look into that. So I think there are people that are looking into trying to see more about their baggage, but then there's other people that feel like they don't have baggage, that have probably the most baggage out there.
So do you have, I have a personal timeline for myself. Do you all, when you're dating somebody new, are you concerned with how long they've been single? And when was their last relationship? Like if they say they got divorced last month, would you be okay with dating them?
It depends, because divorce could have took time to happen. But when did y'all separate? When did y'all stop living together? Like what point did that happen? That I would want to know more information about that. As far as a man being out of a relationship, if a man tell me he hasn't been in a relationship in 10 years, I'm side-eyeing him and I'm asking him more questions, because what's wrong with you? Like, what happened in those 10 years that you didn't commit? And don't tell me, and I'm not talking about he's celibate or abstinence. I'm talking about he ain't been in a relationship in 10 years. I'm side-eyeing him, because not only that, then now I'm going to have to teach you how to be, in a relationship, and how to add me into your life and into what you got going on, because you haven't done it in 10 years. And you don't know how it is the last 10 years, because things have changed.
Javon, you over there biting your tongue. What?
Okay. Gator.
So
what?
I was just no, not just because I think he's got the same thought that I had on that. To be completely honest, I find that younger people have the baggage that they have is more destructive to the relationship than older people. Older people can have the baggage, but I think it's just because maybe the younger people are more, it's more frequency bias. And I think they have more of an issue handling the baggage because they haven't had enough life experience to realize that it's just baggage. So yeah, I think it's more with them. I will say though that as you get older, it is imperative that you kind of work through your baggage as you get it. I'm not really if somebody tells me, oh, I was in a relationship, I got divorced last month, as Nikisa was saying, that divorce could have took 2 years, so that's not that big of a deal. But I am very attentive at the beginning of a relationship, and just listening and observing how they act, who they talk about. Do they reference that old relationship a lot? Are they really over that old relationship, or am I just like a
rebound?
Not even a rebound. If I'm just a placeholder, or that relationship that may be coming up. But I definitely am really, really attentive to those things. But yeah, baggage is relative. You could go through a whole lot of things, but this person that you meet is equipped to handle the baggage that you have. While there are other people, they may not have gone through as much as somebody else, but the type of baggage they have is the type of baggage that I just can't deal with. So
if you meet somebody, all y'all, if you meet somebody who says, I've never been single for more than a few months. I love being in relationships. I can't be by myself. Is that
Will they say that
agree?
will they say that their name is Javon? Because you just described me to a T.
Oh,
And
you just want to be a walking red flag today.
ma'am, if there's poo in the pool, my penis is probably out. I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend that I'm not toxic, which is the reason why I can speak so open and honestly on shows like Dope Discussions with Erica. And I'm not gonna pretend that I'm perfect. I've got flaws, I've got insecurities, but I'm still confident. I've got baggage. Guess what? When I dated this girl when I was 16, I had damage from my relationships when I was 13, 14, and 15. I come with baggage. I'm not saying that it's a heavy load on me. I'm not saying that I don't carry it well, but I think that there's an understanding that we all are a reflection of what we've been through. And I know that I've been through stuff. And I know that the woman in her 40s has been through stuff the same way the woman in her 20s has been through stuff. It's how are you handling the stuff that you've been through? If you just out of a divorce, if you got divorced yesterday and you in the club today, that's you just getting divorced does not mean that you hated that person for the last 5 years and you were so relieved that it's over, or that you were truly in love and you did not want that divorce and now you're here in the bar. Either way, I gotta approach you like a new situation and handle it as each situation in our conversation comes up. I'm not going to prejudge you because you're fresh out of a divorce. I'm not going to prejudge you because you haven't dated for 10 years. I'm not going to prejudge you because you date serially, casually, whatever. I'm going to judge you based off of the conversation that we're having and how dope it's going or how crazy you're turning out to be. But that has nothing to do with the things that you went through yesterday, the day before, the year before, or 5 years before. But that's just my take.
So
It
Erica, you said
it's yours.
No, but get this though, there are
So-
people who love to love, right? They love
Yes.
to be in relationships, they
Me.
love to be with people, and that's fine. That's completely fine. This is why you observe observe people to see what kind of baggage they have. Are they
Yeah.
toting
Well, my
Samsonite or are they
thing-
toting Walmart bags?
My thing is this. If you don't love being by yourself, why do you want me to love being with you? If you don't even enjoy,
You don't
No,
even
no,
like
no, no.
yourself. You
if
can't
you
even take
don't
yourself out.
enjoy your own company,
Yes, come
why you
on.
want me to suffer through your company?
Exactly. Now I gotta suffer and deal with you. No.
Who
no,
said it's to suffer?
no.
I love being by myself, so why shouldn't I want to share that with others? I love who
That
I am.
wasn't the question. She said that's not now you changing it because that ain't
Gator.
what she had
Every
said.
time y'all come up and gang me, I'm gonna say Gator.
He
Gator.
can always twist it. Well, I can twist
You
it right
definitely
back.
twisted.
You
But I was
said
gonna
what you
say to
said.
answer your question, since Gator and Javon already answered it, I was gonna say that I used to be like that though, like in my 20s, where I went from marriage to relationship, marriage, relationship, like it was a non-ending cycle. And I remember my sister asking me, like, okay, girl, like you always in a relationship. Like, when you gonna take time to just be by yourself and heal, or go through the motions, get all the emotions out or whatever. And I was like, I'm not doing none of that, but I was doing that because I didn't want to feel the pain from the previous relationship. So I would always have a replacement, and I would get into a relationship because I just want one person to enjoy this life with and go travel and do all, fun things or whatever. And so it wasn't until I moved here that I was like, okay, let me not date for a little while and let me start going out by myself. Let me take myself to the movies. Let me take myself out to dinner. Let me spend time with myself. And I started doing that only because my sister had called me out on it. And then that's when I realized that for me going into relationship, I was using that as a clutch to not deal with some of the issues and things that I had going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I had to come to that hard realization. I made a video about this some years ago on one of my Facebook pages, and it was called "Are You Relationship Material?" And I looked back at from my first relationship to the last relationship that I was in. I was not relationship material. I was using relationships to fill voids,
Yeah.
to heal wounds from my childhood. And I was always pointing the finger at the other person in the relationship. You did this to me, you did that to me. But I invited that in, and I realized I accepted that because that's what I believed I deserved. And until I got away from all of those relationships and got alone with myself and started doing the work and pointing the finger back at me, and then listening to God tell me things about myself that I didn't want to face and didn't want to believe, because I didn't want to be by myself long enough to hear it. But I started hearing him talk to me like he was sitting next to me and telling me, you're just as toxic as they are.
Yeah.
You're just as emotionally available as they are. Why do you think you're attracted to those kinds of guys?
Right.
Because you're just like them.
Yeah.
It presents in a different way. Your yin fits their yang, but it's all on the same page.
Yeah.
And so once I started working on those things in me, and really saying, you know, you got a lot of shit to deal with. You got a lot of negative beliefs. You have a lot of negative self-beliefs about yourself. And when I started getting all of that stuff out and purging all that stuff, I wasn't even mad at those people that I felt like hurt me in my past. I wasn't mad at them anymore because they didn't owe me anything, because I participated.
Yeah. I agree. I remember I used to cry to God, like, you know, why you let them do this to me? And I'm gonna tell you, that's how I know when people say they've been talking to God and they haven't been talking to God. God gonna put that mirror back in your face, and he gonna tell you about yourself, not those other people. He gonna tell you about yourself, and you have no other choice but to be like, you can't call. I mean, God ain't no liar, so who the liar? It's not God. So then you really have to like deal with it, just like you said. I love that you just shared that, because you know how when you as a woman, you go through stuff and you go through that type of stuff where you go into these relationships and they turn out that way. And then you have to have that hard truth where you have to really deal with that, like you said, that ish that's inside of you. So I can relate to what you just said. We share a similar story.
And I appreciate hearing both of you all's stories, and I can definitely agree with points of what you're saying. I think that for me, though, my belief is that and I had to write it down when you were talking, Erica, I'm relationship material for the person I'm supposed to be in a relationship with. And I believe that the person I'm supposed to be in a relationship will have the patience and the security to deal with the person who I am, and have the, I guess, the elasticity to bend and flex with my struggles and my insecurities. And if it's really something that I'm feeling, I'm able to do that with them. So I know that I've got toxic traits and I'm secure in those things, and I'm trying to adjust on those things. But I'm not going to pretend that I don't like companionship. I'm not going to pretend that I don't like to have some type of social interaction with people, because that's the personality that I have. So I like to date, and I think dating and relationships are different. I don't jump to different relationships, but I do jump to different dating, because I like to date. I like to know people, get to know people, and see if this person who I'm across the table with, or who I'm walking on a path with, or getting ice cream with, is someone who can deal with who Javon is, and if I can deal with them being someone who can deal with who Javon is. So I guess that's just my take on it.
Oh my God, you just gave me something.
You're welcome. I already trademarked it though. Don't use it.
You just said who I'm getting ice cream with. So have you seen this big debate about women who say that ice cream dates are low level and below standard?
The bare minimum is what she said in that text.
Yes. So my thing is, and I've always been this way. I don't want a big extravagant first date, because I don't even know if I like you, sir.
Yep.
And I don't want to have to sit through a dinner with somebody that maybe 10 minutes into the thing, I know I don't like him. I'm not feeling him. So let's get some ice cream, because by the time we finish with this ice cream, I'm going to figure out if I like you or not. And then we might go get some dinner.
You know what's messed up about our generation, or the generation that's right up, underneath us and right behind us, and we're kind of participating in it, is that we have, and I think I've said this on the show many times, we've got old traditional ways and new transitional ways all jumbled up together. So we get the whole point of chivalry, right? We get the whole point of, oh, you want to woo this person, but then at the same time, we also are like, okay, well, we don't want to do the most for this person. So you've got people on this side who are like, let's not do the most. And then people on this side saying, oh, you need to do the most for me.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, and then again, like I said on the show previously, you got the people from the top of this building yelling, and the people at the bottom of the building are sitting there like, well, wait a minute, who you think you talking to? And then people over here, who you talking to? So it's this big thing about an ice cream date. Like literally, people were in their feelings like, I deserve better than ice cream. What?
Oh,
it's not about the ice cream. Like
it's not about it.
Yeah, like that's such an issue. Like it's not like when you're going on these dates, the whole purpose going on the dates is to vet the person to see, like, do we vibe, how our connection is in person, like, is this somebody that I can see myself, dating or whatever. So it don't matter if we're going to get coffee. It doesn't matter if we're going to get cheesecake, because I prefer cheesecake or desserts over ice cream, but I have no problem with doing ice cream if we had to. It is hot in Texas, so I'm good with that. But the whole point is for me to see if I even, like you said, Erica, if I even like you. And for me, I really don't want you, like, I don't want to go to the steakhouse on our first date, because I don't want you wasting your money in case I don't like you, because you won't see me for a second date.
Thank you. Exactly.
And in the meantime, people are trying to date because they're thinking that, and not even date. It's not even about the dating. It's literally about, what are you going to do for me? You got to show me. There was one woman in one of the posts that was talking about it. It's just like, if a man doesn't take me out to dinner, that's showing that he's not a good provider. I'm looking for somebody who's going to be a provider, who's going to not just short me with ice cream, but that's going to show me that I'm worth taking out to dinner and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, God, wait a minute.
But the thing about it is, you have to get outside of yourself and look at everybody's perspective. Okay, this man also doesn't know you.
Right.
So why does he need to show you he's a provider? He don't know if he won't provide for you yet.
Exactly.
Y'all just getting to know each other.
Exactly.
Come on, that's stupid.
Because they haven't earned the provisions. And what's funny is, I wrote it down as unearned expectations. And you have these expectations of this, that, and the other. The only thing on a first date that you should be expecting from me is a venti water from Starbucks. That's the only expectation you should have from me. If it's not free and equally given to everyone in the world, then you shouldn't expect it from me on the first date. You haven't done anything. But
yes, you haven't done anything.
You just having a vagina does not then open up the door to my resources.
Exactly.
And I'm not asking you to earn them in the first date. I just want to get to know who you are. So that way I can make the determination of where I want to go beyond this, and you can make that same determination. But these expectations of steak dinner booms and you got to do this and you got to do that, I don't have to do anything, and neither do you. And I don't have that expectation if you don't have that expectation of me.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I told you before I got on that. I found my way onto what is it, Gold Digger Talk. And all these TikTok videos about these women that be like, oh, well, you gonna take me shopping? It's like, dang, I just met you. I just had you sit in the car. You talking about taking you shopping? What are you talking about? I'm just trying to get to know you. And although a lot of those are skits, it's funny because as I was going through the commentary on those posts about the ice cream thing, there were a lot of women who literally were saying the same thing that those women were saying in those skits about how, hey, if he can't take me to dinner, he can't provide. If he can't take me shopping, one girl was like, he need to show up ready to buy a Louis bag.
And
I'm
see,
like,
this
What
is
age,
where
is that all age groups that was doing that, or is
it's
this a certain
weird.
age group?
This was the weird thing. I expected to see this from the younger people, right?
Mhm.
When I would go to, there's one girl in particular, I went to her page, and she got to be at least a good hot 40. I was like,
Oh,
you really? This is why you got
wow.
the 4 kids, single, da, 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 da. And
Mhm.
then on there, she, posing in front of these different cars and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, I
And
got
see,
you.
See,
that
this is
experience has been more with the older people that I've interacted with than the younger. When I saw
Yeah.
that ice cream post and they said she was 26, that is far from the experiences that I've had with that age dynamic.
Yeah.
Anytime I it's always been gratefulness and no expectations, which is why I've appreciated those interactions as much. But with the 38 to 45 crowd, it's been you're a content creator full time. Oh, okay. So
Did they expect you to buy them? Did they, in the context, did they expect you to take them to the steakhouse and buy them a Louis bag, like he was saying?
the younger ones, not one example,
So
not one
38
time
to
ever.
45.
Yes, there's an
Mhm.
expectation of what do you have for me? And
Right.
the answer has always been nothing.
Right. You know why that is.
It's anything like that.
Now, you know
Yeah.
why that is, right? It's because the younger generation is living in life, and then the older generation is observing it. And what it is that when you see all the city girl type stuff and all of the, oh, I got a bag this, I need a bag that, da 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 da. You see all these things online. There's a huge segment of people that are over 35 that are looking at this and witnessing it and taking it in as that this is life experience. This is what life is now. The younger people are actually going through life genuinely at that point, and they know that that's all cap. But these people that are actually viewing it from the outside, they're just eating it up like, oh, okay, this is this is what life is supposed to be. And in all honesty, it's not.
and it's a very to me it's the date and the time that we're living in. It's a harmful message to put out there, because I don't
Yeah.
understand how the parallels are not aligning, because we have a certain sector of people who are even afraid to interact with men out in public because
Mhm.
they're afraid of being attacked physically or verbally if they don't show interest in the man who wants to be interested in them. Then you got these women out here who are talking about, you got to make a man pay for you on the first date, and he got to take you shopping. Don't you know men have killed women for less than that? You
Right.
going out here trying to scheme on a man to buy you a expensive dinner, and then you don't want to see him anymore, and you think he won't track you down if he's crazy enough.
Right.
Right.
You feel like you're scheming on him, and you don't understand the dynamics in that. Why would you be even contributing to the message of trying to use a man when men are already out here angry at women?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And a woman did what I call the Dallas 1-2 step on me one time. We met in the app where the app listed me having kids, and we talked 2-3 times before we went out. I talked about my kids and how their names are like mine and all that good stuff. We go out on the date. We share the same birthday. She racked up. I mean, while we're waiting for our table, she got 2 drinks. When we get to the table, she ordered another drink. She ordered the meal. She
I mean,
asked
was
for
it
the
happy
dessert menu.
hour? Because I mean, why was she
It was
drinking so
not.
much on the first date? Like what?
Listen, no judgment. Drink as much as you want, because the
No,
night is
because
feeling
I'm
good.
saying it's a first date. That was dangerous. She could have got drunk. She didn't know who you was. You could have
Right.
took
night-
advantage of her.
The
All types
night
of stuff.
was feeling great. Drink as much as you want. We're about to have fun. So, but then the date ends, and great first date. I'll see you later. Getting our destinations, we go our separate ways. She calls me up. She was like, "Man, that was so much fun. Yeah, I had a great time too." Well, I'm going to be honest. I really don't see myself dating a man with kids.
She knew that before she went on the date.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about kids at all during the date. It was all previous conversation in the app and in personal
Oh,
conversations. But at the dinner, we talked about life and goals and all that other stuff. Great conversation, TV shows and music. Great. We just laughing, having a good time. And then, I don't see myself dating man. Okay. Oh, the Dallas two-step. So you got
Mhm.
this $100, more than $100 meal on this first date. And now, okay, so you was hungry. Guess what has never happened?
She was hungry or she was thirsty. Because it sounds like she drunk more than she
Right.
ate.
Right.
that's why Javon said you gonna get this ice cream cone and sit your ass down.
Exactly.
The ice cream cone is if I'm really feeling you. The venti water from Starbucks is what you want to get on those first dates. That's your expect that
Mhm.
and nothing more. I will
Wow.
never get Dallas one two-stepped again. Ever.
Wow, that's
Never, ever.
crazy.
I don't do somebody with cancer. Her name was
don't put no names out there. We're gonna have to bleep it out.
all the men. Watch
You
out
only
for
get
it.
sued.
Oh, I will never.
That is wild. I just don't have the balls to do something like that because I have empathy for people. I wouldn't want that to be done to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But then
I
there-
think that's it too. A lot of people a lot of people in general, don't matter the gender, they don't have empathy and they don't care and they are selfish and they are like care about themselves and self-entitled to what they can get or get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Facts.
Say it.
And that's sad. That is, I've had that happen to me too. So as a matter of fact, with a fellow content creator, I had that happen, and it's like, well, wait a minute, hold on. Well, I guess I'm not coming back on your show. No time.
Wow.
What?
I want to follow her. Katie. What show was it again?
Backstage. Not on the
Okay, I just wanted to make a note, see if it was on Conscious Living with Monica or something.
Yes, man. Look, I have had the most fun I've had in a while doing this show with y'all tonight. We definitely got to have y'all back more often.
Not until you get that intro fixed.
Don't start.
But real talk though, we do the relationship hotspot, and we'll talk about this offline. But I would love to do a virtual relationship hotspot with you guys if Nikisa, my co-anchor, is okay with it. Because I absolutely love hanging out with you all. I watch your podcast. I listen to your podcast on the Apple, and along with Quincy's. And I hope you all are watching Bold, Bossy, and Blessed with Nikisa Green. But I digress. I absolutely love and adore you all, and I love these conversations, and I love these invitations. And don't let it be once every 3 years, okay?
It won't. But before we get out of here, I wanna let y'all leave us with some parting words on whatever, the topics of tonight, anything y'all got going on coming up, how the people can connect with y'all, follow the show. So I'm gonna start out with the lovely Miss Nikisa.
Nikisa, go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having us back again. Like Javon said, hopefully it won't be another 3 years we come back on the show. This was fun. I really appreciate both of y'all. Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at Nikisa Green, and I am a co-host of the Relationship Hotspot with Javon, and I have my own podcast called Bold, Bossy, and Blessed Podcast. So follow me, check me out. Last words I would say is, as far as dating over 40, if you are optimistic about dating, it doesn't matter whether you think there's a shortage of men, whether you think there's pee in the pool, whatever you think will come true. So if you do think it's pee in the pool, then you may need to get out that pool and understand that there are a variety of other people that are not, in that dating pool. So just be optimistic about dating. I'm 45, I'm dating, I'm very optimistic, and I'm very optimistic about dating older men. So that's my last words I have to say.
Yes. Give me an old daddy with some gray in his head.
Oh Lord.
And his
And his beard, yes.
I was about to say, you got the beard. I knew that was coming.
Give me a Papa Smurf or something. All right, Jamal.
Give her a Papa Smurf, she said. She said, hi, I'm Javon. I like long walks on the beach, poetry. I love music, mainly 90s. They said I can talk about whatever I want to, so I'm going to take these 15 minutes to tell you that, no, I'm just playing. Listen, I'm Javon. Javon Show on all social media platforms. I am a huge podcast fan. I own a podcast network called iDream Media, www.icandreamnow.com. And I am looking forward to the opportunity to have the live show, like having dope discussions somewhere in like a cafe or in some type of town hall live with cameras, and how we did with the relationship hotspot, because these individuals, Erica and Gator, are just true, wonderful conversationalists. And I'm using my time, yes, to talk about how great Erica and Gator and this Dope Discussions podcast is. So if you're listening to this podcast, make sure you like it, make sure you share it with others, make sure you subscribe, and then, donate a little bit. Make them get a Patreon. Make them get an OnlyFans. We all know we want to see Erica on never mind. I digress. My point is,
I have an OnlyFans.
My point is that this is a great conversation. I hope that we continue to have it, and I hope that you all continue to support it so that there can be more of them. So again, thank you for having me on. Please follow me on all platforms, especially TikTok. Make sure you follow Nikisa Green and the Bold Bossy Blessed podcast, the Relationship Hotspot, and all the things that she's doing, because she's an amazing conversationalist as well. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.
In true Javon fashion.
OnlyFans?
Nothing wrong with OnlyFans.
You got something you want to lead the folks with?
I just want to say that, the biggest thing about dating over 40 is, it is a lot easier than it seems. To be completely honest, just be yourself, man. Just to make sure that you cut whatever comes your way that you can't be agreeable with, and just go for what you know. I mean, just be authentically you and look for somebody who's being authentically them. This is way off topic, but for some reason it hit me a little bit. Yesterday, or the day before actually, Paul Rubens died, man. And I, for some reason, had a visceral reaction to that, because one of the earliest memories of my childhood is watching Pee-wee's Playhouse. So just wanted to, say, hey guys, if you haven't seen that show before, go ahead and watch some old episodes or whatever. We lost a legend, and it really did affect me. I started to do a secret word today, and I started to wear my bow tie, but maybe I'll save that for next week.
Pee-wee's Playhouse. I had the same reaction, Gator, no lie. That one hit me pretty hard. Yeah, because I watched the movies and watched the TV show. Every episode I know of Pee-wee's Playhouse. So
me and Nadine were talking about this yesterday, and Pee-wee's Big Adventure is one of those movies to where it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If it's on TV, I just stop and watch it. Whatever it is. So, just shout out to RIP Mr. Rubens there.
Yes. Well, I just want to say thank you again to Javon and Nikisa for joining us. Anytime that y'all want to come back to the show, holler at me. We're going to bring y'all on regardless, because y'all are the OG guests of the show, our original 2 live show guests. So y'all are always, it's like y'all are inducted to the Dope Discussions Live Hall of Fame. So I'm going to see if I can go and dig in the crates and find that first video so I can shut Javon's mouth up.
Somebody just left a comment in the thing.
Oh, Lord. Update their intro.
Yeah, I agree with you, Javon.
Yes. And my only closing thoughts on dating over 40 is, man, just have fun with it. The biggest lesson that I learned with dating over 40, because I really like Javon said, in my 20s, I was all about trying to get in a serious relationship, have children. I wanted to be a wife and a mother. I didn't really date. I was just in and out of relationships. But what I've learned in my 40s dating is that every person you meet in dating doesn't have to end up in a relationship. It can become somebody, a friend. It can become a business contact. It doesn't have to end in a romantic relationship. And when you go into it with that mindset, you don't get, discouraged when it doesn't work out. You just know, I've met a new person. I've learned something new about people. I've learned something new about myself. I've learned what I do want, what I don't want, and I'm having fun. And I'm not going in there trying to impress anybody. I'm going as myself, and I'm hoping they show up as themselves. And then we can figure out if we like each other, and then I can move on. And I also learned that I love being by myself. I love my own company. And I just want to find somebody who complements that, who enhances that, who I don't need to just make them my whole world. Like I hear people say, I want to find somebody, I want somebody to bring me peace, or I want my partner to be my peace. No, you bring your peace and let them bring their peace, and you can be peaceful together. But nobody can be your peace but God. And so.
Come on here and speak, ma'am.
I like what you said
Come
about
on.
dating. That dating is so important, man. And just not getting to the relationships with them, but you can date somebody or go out on a few dates with them. And then at the end of those few dates, you may realize that y'all really shouldn't be in a relationship, but maybe y'all can be podcast co-hosts and it'll work out. So, that's all that I'm saying.
Well, we know that's what happened with you and Nikisa.
That's all I'm saying. There's success to this. That's all I'm saying.
I was listening to the whole story, so I can't vouch for everything he said in that sentence because I.
Yeah, you have to
Yes,
bet him
we met.
out.
No, we didn't do anything. Like nothing happened.
Wow,
We became great friends. I want to make it clear.
Yeah.
Boy, did nobody say we was in H-Town rocking, knocking boots. All I said was
Nikisa said she was not on your roster.
You have to specify, because
God.
people be watching this show and they be
My
like, oh,
God.
just no.
Start
And
rumors and
then
things.
will insinuate that and leave a woman out there like that to be like, well, I didn't say it, but, and it's like, no, let me be very clear.
Let me
Clear that right on there.
Well,
She
he
cleared
is
that right on up.
I did not
but he
miss
is
that
a
man.
platonic. He's a platonic
My
friend.
God.
He's
Yes.
a friend.
And I do believe that men and women can be platonic friends and be really true friends. And I value the male friendships that I have.
Yes.
On the next dope discussions, platonic friends.
Yeah, I know, right? We had talked about doing
For
this
real, we
dating
should
app
talk about that.
conversation. We need to have y'all on the dating app conversation that we were talking about having, because that's hey, it's how I met Nadine. That's how a lot of people are meeting people now, is through dating apps.
Mhm.
I met a lot of business partners that way. So
I can't do it. I don't know. I try to get on and then I get off. It's just like I feel like
Me
right
too.
now I'd rather do organic meeting people, and I've been doing that. So I'm like I'm happy with it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everybody who tuned in, who joined in the conversation, who left us a lot of dope additions and comments to the show. We appreciate y'all. Our faithful Quincy Talk to Q radio show. He's always over here showing us support. So we make sure we go over there and show him support as well.
Oh, yeah.
Thank y'all, everybody. Good night. I could just keep on talking, but we're going to get on up out of here.
Good
Good
too.
night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Peace out.
Good night.